Hey there. Welcome to the Author's Way podcast, the journey to finding your voice. My name is Jennifer Wright. I am your podcast host. And today we are going to be talking about the ROI of book writing, the return on investment. Writing a book takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of your energy. It takes a lot of your resources. And in a lot of cases, it takes money to finish and publish your book. And so we're going to talk about how to make sure you are maximizing your investment and you're getting the most out of that investment, the most value. In a lot of cases, it's profit from selling the book, the royalties that you get from selling your book. And in a lot of cases, there are other ways that you can find to get value, and sometimes even more value than what you're getting out of the profit of the book itself. So we'll give you some tips and tricks that you can use and some things that you may want to be thinking about as you are finishing your book and getting ready to publish it and market it and get it out there. Or if you already have a book, maybe you'll get some new ideas for marketing and getting your book into the hands of your audience. So before we get started, though, I want to introduce you to Wright. Wright is the sponsor of this podcast. We are a book writing partner and a book writing consulting firm. We help professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to raise their professional profiles, to get their words out into the world and build their credibility in the marketplace by writing, publishing, and getting their book into the hands of their audience. If you have a book in your head, in your heart, in your soul, and you haven't quite figured out how to get started or get finished, head over to our website. That's execuwright.com. That's EXECUWRIGHT.com. Take a look at our programs and feel free to schedule a strategy session. Would love to hear your story and see what we can do to help you get your book started. So let's get started talking about the ROI, or the return on investment. I talk to a lot of people, both published and unpublished authors, and they talk about book sales and they talk about royalties and how many books they're going to have to sell to be able to get the return on investment from all of the effort they put into publishing their book. They talk about, becoming a best-selling author, which is absolutely a great thing to do. It builds huge credibility, and there are ways that you can do that. We're not going to talk about that specifically today. We're going to talk more about how to get more books out to your audience. So there are really three types of authors that I'm going to talk about today. The first one is business owners, entrepreneurs, and I include professional speakers in that group, because speakers are out selling their product, which is themselves. The second group we're going to talk about is executives. So people who work for other companies, people who are raising up. They may not be quite at the executive level yet, but they want to move into an executive level position, or they may be executives and want to move into a higher level executive. So maybe they're wanting to move in a C-suite position or into a CEO position. And then the third group we're going to talk about is charities and people who run and fund charities. And so there's some really good value that charities can get out of having books. So this is all about not only how to market your book and how to get your book into more hands, but it's also about reasons that you should write a book. I mean, if you're thinking about it and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, these are some really good reasons that you maybe haven't thought about that could prompt you to say, hey, now may be the right time, because there's some great things I can do with a book. So First, let's talk about business owners and entrepreneurs. There's some commonalities between those three groups, so I'll point those out, and then we'll talk about some specific actions you can start taking. So, for business owners and speakers, and that includes entrepreneurs. So, you really want to think about when you're writing your book or you have a book and you're marketing it, you want to think about your audience. In a lot of cases, your audience is going to be your clients or people who could potentially be your clients or companies who could potentially be your clients. So having a book really helps you to build relationships. It helps you to establish credibility. So you have a lot of expertise in your field. You have a lot of skills in your field. You have some uniqueness. There are things that you do that are different than what other people do. You are special, you are unique, and you have expertise that you absolutely have the right to share with your audience. So having a book can really help build that credibility. Have you ever been talking about someone and someone say, hey, he wrote this great article, or hey, he wrote this book, and you think, oh, that's really cool. And in your head, you're thinking, well, that makes him maybe more of an expertise, or that make an expert in the field, or that makes her me think of her more often, the fact that she has a book. So it really kind of puts you at the front of people's minds and really establishes that credibility and shows them that you have some great skills and expertise in your field. So knowing that and knowing that it can really help build relationships, there's a lot of things that now you can do with a book. It doesn't have to be putting it on Amazon and sending people the link and telling them to go buy it. And then, looking at your sales and being a little underwhelmed by how many books you're selling. Now you can really take that and know that just by getting your books in more people's hands, it can really build your credibility. So I encourage people to give their books away. I know you think, now I've got to pay for the book, but you can get author's copies, and the author's copies you really only pay for the production of the book. So now what you can do is, when you go to conferences, when you go to speaking events, when you go visit a client, when you go to any kind of networking event, you can bring your books with you. And you can, if a lot of conferences allow people to sell their books, allow speakers or sponsors to sell their books at the conference. So you don't necessarily have to sell them off the website. You can have physical books there and sell them at the conference. You can sign them for people. So you can offer signed books to people, sell them. You can give them away. You can put them into auctions and, have people bid them or give them to raffles or auctions as free, so that if people, buy a ticket, they can potentially win the book. You can also put them on your social media and give them away on your social media. So, put your program out on social media and say, the first 10 people respond, get a free copy of my book. So it really can establish some buzz and some credibility and really kind of help you get in front of more people. Then if you start looking at the number of clients that you're bringing in just by giving away free books, a one client can be, by giving away maybe 10 free books, maybe brings you one client. That one client may be 20 times more valuable than just the sale of those 10 books. So when you really start thinking about that and start thinking about what you can do in addition to just selling your books, it really raises the value of the book. And I believe that giving away the book is even more valuable than selling it. because it gets you in front of more people. They take that book home, they set it on their desk. Your name on that book is sitting there on their desk or on their coffee table. And now the next time they think they want to pick up the phone and call someone, you're the one they're going to think about. It's really kind of like a great big business card. So for business owners, I think that writing a book is extremely valuable. And I encourage all people that are really trying to grow their business to consider it. So that's, that's just a few ways that you can find to really establish some additional value for your book. The second audience I want to talk about is executives. This is a little bit newer audience to getting into the book writers, into the book writing. There are a lot of CEOs out there who have written books, but if you think about the value and you think about, could having a book make you stand out? So say, for instance, you're an executive, you are targeting a C-level position, so a COO position, a CIO position, and you really want to make yourself desirable for that type of position. Write a book. It's a unique thing to have, especially at the C-level. There are some C-level executives out there who have written books, not all of them. So it makes you a little bit unique. It establishes your credibility, shows your skills, shows your expertise in a way that a resume can't do, in a way that an interview can't do. It gives such a deeper view into your skills and your expertise that recruiters and companies really find that desirable, and it really helps you stand out. So I've talked to quite a few executives, and they are finding that is one of the things. It's becoming harder and harder to stand out as an executive. And that is one of the things that can really make you unique in that field and give you a little bit of a leg up to some of the others that may be going after the same position. So again, when you go to conferences, when you go to events, leave your book behind with your name on it. And, when that company or that executive or that recruiter or headhunter starts to look for someone like you for a position that you're qualified for, they're going to think about you. And your name is going to be at the top of their list because that book is sitting on their desk or sitting on their coffee table or sitting in their, still sitting in their bag from where they just came back from the conference. And it really is, again, like a great big business card. You can use it on social media, give it away to friends and family, give extra copies to friends and family, and have them give it away. I carry around copies of books of friends of mine so that I can, give them away to people when they say, I'm looking for this. I give their books away. So it really is a great way to show your expertise, your skills in your field, and really kind of give you a leg up on the competition, because I got to tell you, not a lot of executives out there have written books. And it's a way to really establish that for yourself. The third group that I want to talk about is charities and foundations. So charities and foundations are a little bit unique in the field because as they're looking for funds to help a cause as opposed to funds to help themselves. So, and in a lot of cases, they're very, 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 very busy people. And because charities take a lot of work to run, in a lot of cases, they do it off of very few people. So it's an interesting field because the time limitations are so strong. Not that the other fields don't have strong time limitations, but a lot of times people who are running charities have very few resources, a lot fewer resources. So taking the time to write a book can even be more challenging because of the time commitment. However, there can be some huge benefits to having a book for a charity or for the person who is the head of the charity. Number one, it can bring a lot of attention to the cause. It can help people who maybe don't understand the cause or don't really know all of the details of the cause, help them really kind of understand more about it. It can help tell your story. So I've found that a lot of people who are running charities or foundations have some history, have some personal reason that they're running that foundation. And by telling that story, it can also bring a lot of attention to the cause and really kind of bring out a lot of emotions in people and make them really want to help support, because most people want to help. So it helps them kind of understand how they can help, why they might want to help, and can really bring a lot of attention. It can also help having a book can help with some publicity and getting the charity or the foundation into more media, and you get more of attention that way. You can also use the book. If you remember last week, we talked to Michael Coles, and he uses his book to actually raise money for his foundation. So you can use the profits from the book to go into the charity and help raise money for that cause. So a lot of really great things you can do for the book. And again, just like with business owners, just like executives, you can work to get your book in more hands of people. The more people you get the book in front of, the more people become aware of the charity, the more people you have that are potential supporters of the charity, both with funds, with time, with resources. So take the book to your conferences, take them when you have fundraising events, have books that you either auction off or raffle off or give away. And you can use them as fundraisers themselves. Give away signed copies of the book. Put them on your website. Give away copies of the book if you make a certain size of donation. Use it on social media. And, if the number, put it out there on social media and tell folks that, the first 10 people who respond to a post gets a free copy of the book. And then now you've got names that go into your list. So there's just a lot of really good ways to use your book. And again, I feel like the more hands, the more eyes you can get on your book, the more hands you can get your book into, the better for your business, for your career, for your charity, because one new job that you get at an executive level could raise your career profile more than selling 1,000 books potentially. One new client that you can get in front of by giving them a copy of your book could do more than selling hundreds of copies of your book. One big donor that you can get your book in front of could potentially raise thousands of dollars for your charity. So don't limit yourself to the profit of your book just by selling copies of the book. There are lots of ways that you can get benefit, you can get value out of writing your book. And it is absolutely worth the effort that you put into it. And it can absolutely be worth the investment of the money, the time, the energy, and the focus, because it could significantly grow your business, could significantly grow your career, could significantly grow your cause, for your money for your cause. So would love to hear any thoughts that you have. And I've enjoyed sharing this information with you. Until next time, my name is Jennifer Wright, and this is The Author's Way. Thank you.